originally, a bunch of us guys were raising some pheasants, and we thought back to the old days where the pheasants used to be in the straw pond. So we decided to do a little bit of this thrashing. The first couple of years we thrashed down at the place southeast of town. Then we went across the road over here and thrashed over on Racine Rambos for a couple of years. And then we lucked out. Pete and Aiden sold us 23 acres of land over here. And then we just started accumulating buildings. This one he's going to have to be over that way, take it over that way. And then we went back to Minnesota, and I got the thrashing machine that my dad had bought back in 1919, and we used that for a number of years. But things happen, dry rot, etc., on these wooden machines, and it's just impossible to keep them up. But we're very fortunate. We've acquired some other wooden machines, and then we got a guy from Tappan that is just fabulous. He comes down here and he completely restored a John Deere thrashing machine, and it's just like it's come from the factory. So what can you say? We like to see the old wooden ones run, but they are hard to keep up. With what money we get through Johnny Holmes' concert and some other activities we have up here, plus this show, everything is just piled back into improving everything up here. And I think if you look around up here, we have come a long ways. It's just unreal how this is mushroom. It's just about like when everything comes together. Like when you take an old tractor apart and then you put it back together, and the first time it fires over, it's a good feeling. And the same thing here. It's a lot of work, but we have a lot of fun doing it. You know, like this one yellow one, the yellow fellow we have here, Avery Yellowfellow, that was built in 1916.
That was the one I sent out.
Oh, you couldn't get in there. But how much area do we need in front? About right here, put a post, huh? There, leave a walkway there, and then we'll close this off when we want to do it.
Why not do it? Why not?
Huh? Yeah, but then people can sit here.
There's about 3 or 4 of us guys right here locally. We spend about a month up here. I mean, it'd probably be 4 hours one day, 8 hours another day, maybe a couple hours, stuff like that. And then we have some very good guys that come down from Bismarck. And, they are multi-talented. Some of them are carpenters, some electricians, some plumbers, some sheet and metal workers. And without those people, we wouldn't have this show as we have it.
In case you guys don't know it, we're going to get wet. Yeah, this one maybe.
Yeah.
Well, something's coming in.
Before I got up.
Well, I'm a local welder, blacksmith, and mechanic, and you fix things. You start out if something broke, you fix it, you weld it, repair it, and if you can't, you build it out of something that makes it work. I've been working now up here for at least 2 months ahead of time, getting things ready. We got to pull all the machinery out of the buildings, clean up the area, get the thing running, get everything set up, get the area cleaned up. Everybody comes in, helps if they can or if they find time. It's kind of tough if the harvest is going on because they got other work to do, and when you have time, you just do what you think you can or what you think or needs doing and whatnot.
Should work. Should do the job. Yeah. I suppose I can leave that open, let it air out.
The show actually got started off of Dell and I and a few locals, Hubert, decided to do a little thrashing demo. Dell Swallene has a little acreage on the south side of town here, and he had it planted into oats. And we was involved somewhat into hunting, pheasant hunting, and there was lack of cover for pheasants, so we raised some pheasants. We decided we needed a straw pile, so we rounded up a thrashing machine and an old tractor, and for a year or two we was just doing it in the middle of this oats field, and it created a little local interest, and pretty soon others were pitching in, and it grew from there. There was a farmer east of town had an Altman Taylor tractor, and they left us bring that in and put that big unit on there, and it just kept growing more and more each year. Eventually we bought this property here on the west side of the road from a local farmer, 27 acres I believe, and people heard about it and saw it and brought their equipment and kept adding to it, and every year we just seemed to add a little bit more.
And that'll be around the corn.
Hello, this is Dave Duckshire, President of South Central Thrasher Association in Braddock, North Dakota. We are in our 31st year of working with the Thrashers. Our show usually runs the first weekend after Labor Day weekend all the time, and this year is on the 10th and 11th. We have a very fine show here. We have a lot of interesting things for you people in the surrounding area. Come out and check this show out. There is a lot of new things going on here all the time. We have a fine group of people working with us all the time. We be people from the Bismarck area, all around the surrounding area, but they're very good helping people all the time. As you can see, we are in motion to start getting going here. Our parade starts at 1 o'clock today here, and we'll run the parade tomorrow at 1:30. So if you can get down here and watch that. We have a lot of activities going on in the grounds for the kids, the adults, and alike. We have flea markets. We'll be thrashing. We'll be cutting wood, making shingles, crushing rock. We have a couple of stationary motors on the grounds and a lot of old tractors. Have even a couple of horses, I believe, around this year here again for the show. And I just want to welcome everybody down here.
We started out with one thrash machine. That's 30 years ago. And we've had people coming in and helping build this up, bringing on machinery in. We've been buying some machinery, and that's the way we've been growing. And nobody's getting paid, everybody's donating their labor and help and work. So that's the way we've been going on.
The antique tractor pull started several years ago. It started out with just a couple tractors, and we had a skid, just a skid, and we would place people along the track, and we would just keep adding people on this skid till the tractor couldn't pull it no more. And then from there we went into Dakota had this an automatic sled that was computerized, and the weight moved as you pulled down the line, and eventually it got to be more tractors, and then started doing weight classes and up the line. We have some just demonstration pulls where there's some souped up tractors out here just for show. And then last year, the pickup pull was added. There's been a lot of interest by the young fellas in the country to see how much dirt they can make fly, and so it's entertaining.
Cliff Ruff, of course, brought in the majority of the antique tractors here, and without him we wouldn't be much of a show. But a lot of the tractors that he did take in here were kind of in a bucket. We had two of them, both Averys, completely apart. No idea of what went where. And we spent a couple winters just putting them together. And they run them.
I mean, when I started collecting this stuff?
Yeah.
1960, I suppose. And buying ever since. Those are the days I could buy them for $100. Them days are gone. I got about 100 tractors, 4 steam engines, 20 cars, 20 trucks, and a Quonset full of washing machines and radios, whatever. Yeah, I belong to this one on Fullerton. 2 shows like that. I got quite a few on tractors in Fullerton too.
I'm Scott Langemo, and this is my daughter Jessie, and we built this tractor about 5 years ago, and my sons in the winter, and put a 3 horsepower stationary engine on it. Kind of made everything else from scratch. Building another one in the process right now, so next year we'll have that one down here. It's got plenty of parades we went to and had a lot of fun with it. My younger boy's going to drive it this afternoon's parade.
My name is Larry Smith, and this is a collection of tractors I have that were actually the same model number was sold. My grandfather, who was W.J. Smith and Son, he was an implement dealer in Mandan, North Dakota. And the signs you see on the wagon that we haul kids in are the original business letterhead for his business in Mandan, North Dakota, and originally was on a farm near St. Anthony, North Dakota. These tractors have been restored by myself and my father, who's now deceased. He and I did the first one, the little Massey Harris Pony. That's a 10-horse tractor. And we built a miniature wagon to go with it to haul kids in parades and threshing shows like this. The next one we have is a Massey Harris 22. That was restored this past year for the KFR Tractor Trek. And then the next one is a Massey Harris 44, which was restored a year ago. And that one is was set up for a tractor trek and for steam shows such as this, as parades, and to show and keep some of the history of the tractors alive.
The South Central Threshing Association has wanted a printing press for quite a few years, and we found one for them and donated it to them several years ago. And 2 years ago, they built a building to house the press and other antique letterpress equipment. We have 2 hand-fed presses. One of them is a Chandler and Price, and that was patented in 1885. The one we have is from about 1925. And then we have an Alden treadle-operated letterpress. They're both hand-fed. And that one goes back to the 1880s. And so that's a very rare press. In fact, we can't find any information on it even on the internet. So, and I've contacted printing museums, they don't know about it. So it's a kind of a special press that we have.
So how many of those can you do before you have to put ink on again?
Well, this just pulls up. It depends on how much type. If you were printing a picture, you'd have to replenish it quite often. This particular press was made in 1874, and it's rare because it's treadle operated. Not only its age, but it's treadle operated. And those were the earliest presses were treadle operated.
This is a schoolhouse on the Braddock grounds. It was donated to the Thrashers by Wally Bitts. It come from north of Napoleon, and this school is actually being used. The teachers from Hazelton come over here and have classes in here once a year.
Many of our elders attended that type of school. It has a culture of its own and a history of its own. I think of it this way. The legacy on those old school buildings are what we have today. That's where the people who went through there brought the rest of us up.
Hi there, this is the church on the Braddock Threshing grounds. It was donated by Leon Olhauser, and it come from west of Hazelton. It was a Lutheran church, and we are using it on Sunday mornings.
The steeple was gone when it was brought in here, and a couple local fellas from pictures designed and built the steeple and put it into the condition it is today. There's an old organ in there, and old pews were donated. Services are held in there during the show.
Hi, here's the George Boleen house on the Thrashers ground. It was donated from George Boleen. It come from straight north of Braddock here, and I believe this building was moved in here approximately 5 years ago. It is furnished inside with all the fixings and lighting and everything from the old days, so if you want to see a nice house, here the house is to come to see.
The old house was donated by a local farmer about 3 miles northeast of Braddock here. It was set on his farm, and the ladies in the club decided we should have an old house to display some of the older furniture and older settings.
They was going to tear it down, so they offered it to us, and we had it moved in here and had it all restored, rebuilt, cleaned it up, painted it up. Everybody brings in whatever, you know, it's old and old-fashioned, and to clean it up and restore it in the house and for the show to show the people who come around. There's a tour for the people to go through to see all that stuff in there.
The sawmill was purchased from a party in Bismarck. It was set up in the woods north of Bismarck in the river bottom. The sawmill was at one time set up at the Garrison Dam. All the timbers for the forming and the shoring when the Garrison Dam was built was cut on this sawmill. They run it, I believe, like 2 winters up there, just cutting timbers, big timbers, and shoring material. And we bought it, moved it down here and set it up, and it works quite well.
Hi, this is a wood planer. As you bring your wood out of the sawmill, you bring it over here and you run it through this planer to take off all the rough edges and get a nice smooth bore like you buy at the lumber yards.
The planer, we, you know, you luck out when you hear things about there's some piece of equipment here or some piece of equipment there. The planer came way from up by the Duluth area. We happened to know somebody up in that area, and they had driven by this place and stopped in, and the guy said this thing is for sale. So we went up there and got it.
Hi, this is a rock crusher, a very rare piece of equipment to have at a show. You used to crush the rock down and then use that rock for making cement and for rip wrapping.
Rock crusher comes from Napoleon. There was a gravel sales guy or sold gravel and crushed rock in Napoleon, and he had it in a pit in the Napoleon area. And he still owns it, but he's left it come over here, and we use it on an annual basis.
It's a little bit dangerous piece of machinery. You got to watch it because you got to run it in a certain speed and feed it, you know, a certain kind of size rocks. It you can crush it about a 50-pound rock. That's about the biggest size you can crush.
This is a shingle mill. We do make shingles here, and at the end of the show we do stamp them with a forge and stamp the year and the date in of the show.
The shingle mill, that belonged to Cliff Ruff. He had purchased that a number of years ago. They're very difficult to find, and of course they are naturally an antique.
It's one of the few that are around. McCody also has one, and we have one here.
Well, it was considered, people come in and they wanted to know if they could possibly sell their produce or things they've made and stuff like that. And each year it keeps getting bigger and bigger. You run out of space because there's a lot of people come in and they want to show off the things that they make, and if they possibly sell them, that's fine. And I don't know how many years it's been going. I think very well most of the time since we've been up here in this area here is when this craft show, been put on. But I can't tell you when it started. It's been a number of years back.
You have to have the support of the people in your community, and it's working that way, so we're very happy. Yes, yeah. You and I both know what it's like.
This is tie-dye. It comes in, and then she dyes one color, and then of course she uses rubber bands. Yes, rubber bands, we use rocks.
I buy her yarn and stuff all the time.
Well, no, but some of this stuff, like what she's got, the light stuff.
I guess my favorite thing is the tractors. It's exciting to see them run, get them started, get them going, and challenging to try to figure out why they don't tick. It's amazing how they were used over the years. I can see where it was probably easier than working with horses, but some of these tractors can be awful frustrating too. So we have several here that I'd like to see fixed.
Runs out of gas.
Yeah.
That's why. Ready up there? Oh, get the hell out of the way. Ready. Get your fingers out of the way.
Well, community here, they're all just good people here. They all help out. Some of them shows don't help you. You gotta do it all yourself. If you only get one item, there's no problem, but you get 6, 7 tractors running and a big steam engine, why, keeps me going.
decided to build one, and of course to him, challenges were supreme, and he built, so he built the same thing that his dad had. And there weren't that many of the real ones, and of course the little ones, there aren't. When you look at it, the 2 cylinders and so on, this is an extremely difficult engine to build. Complex compared to others. And so that holds it down some. They're bad enough to build simple ones. Okay, the one I have now is a scale model. It's a 4th size of a huge engine. My dad built this from scratch, and there's not another one like it in the country. I'm sure I can safely say that. There were so few to begin with, and the real ones, and then he picked up on this. It's unusual in as much as it's a 2-cylinder, which is more difficult to build. He spent a lot of time on this. He was very attentive to detail. He was a good machinist, and he kept, you kind of work your way through these things, and he kept fussing with this over a period of about 1.5 years. He's approved by the boiler inspector, licensed, inspected every other year, and now it'll be every year, just like the big ones are. So I have that engine, and then I built to size a threshing machine to fit it. So I've got a little case threshing machine and that steam engine, and so that's what keeps me going.
I'm Austin Worry, and I'm from Kintyre. The best thing about the threshing show for me is ringing the bell. I'm Aaron Worry, and I especially like riding on the buggy, chasing it and stuff. I'm from Kintyre too. I'm Ashton Worry, and I'm from Kintyre, and I like to ride the buggy and chop corn.
The parade is probably the highlight, where everything is running. Sometimes maybe only for a little while, but everything's running, and we kind of line it up. We don't have enough drivers, but to run one through the parade and jump on another one and run it through the parade. But there's quite a variety of old tractors in that parade, old tractors as well as 40s vintage tractors. Quite a demonstration. I don't really know how many are in it, but it's quite a number. It takes quite a while to get everything through.
You have to throw the bundles up, and then you have to cut the twine and push them into the machine, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, and it pulls the cob off and husks the corn, and then the corn comes up the conveyor, and the stalks and the leaves are chopped up and used for feed, and any corn that gets shelled out gets separated out and can be collected up.
One thing I would have to say about this show is that we have, you take for instance, we have the silo filler operating, we have a corn shredder operating, we have a hand tie antique baler running, we have the sawmill, the shingle mill, the planer, rock crusher, thrashing. So we have a lot of demonstrations going on throughout the day.
Now this is one of the stationary engines at the Braddock Thrashing Show. It's a Rockford, very rare engine and in very good condition.
The big one we have here came out of it was run the elevator in Napoleon, and that was purchased by the club. It runs on diesel, which is a little bit different. It starts on air, compressed air. I'm not sure what it weighs, but it's quite heavy. And then there's a few other engines, and there's people bring in for display some of their engines too.
Hi, this is Miss Kitty's. This building was donated to the Braddock Thrashers from Herbert and Herman Pressler, and it's a local gathering place after a hard day's work.
Well, that was my neighbor's schoolhouse. So we got a good idea to remodel it. So we moved it down here, and we started little by little, tore all the inside out, and no insulation in the walls. The wind blew up all over. You couldn't be in there when it's chilly. So we got that all, and then we started adding on the open porch in front, just for, you know, people sitting out there when it's nice and warm. Then after a few years, about 2-3 years ago, we added on this additional bar on the south side, and we finally got the whole thing done inside this year.
Hi, this is Dave. This is our old depot here. Moved in here from Moffett, North Dakota, and we'll have Cindy's photos being produced in here on Sunday afternoon.
Are you ready?
Braddock initially had a depot, and at the time we didn't have no interest in it, I guess, or enough interest in it, and it got tore down. So this depot comes from Moffett. We got the depot from Moffett, and it was on the same line, Sioux line, as the Braddock line. And the Braddock depot was awful similar to this one. It was moved in here, and we've shingled it, painted it, and this is how it stands today, I guess. We kind of got a little museum in here, and storage,
Hi, these are just some of the thrash machines that are on the ground. As you can see, there's some very rare ones in here. There's a Huber here, and down the road a little ways there's a double-fed thrash machine, which is very few of those left in the country anymore.
I used to work on a thrash machine about 60 years ago, and this is the oldest one I've ever seen. It was well worth the trip. And 2 thrash machines down is the newest one I've ever seen.
we like to show that because it is part of history. Before the combines were introduced for threshing grain, it was labor intense. You had to bind the grain, shock it, and then it had to be hauled to a location where these threshing machines were setting. The bundles are pitched into the machine. Initially it was done with horses.
The truth of the matter is, it may surprise most people, but fundamentally a thrashing machine has all the things in it that big brand new combines do. The differences are, thrash machines are stationary, combines move, the controls are different, the belts are different, bearings are different, those things, but the thrashing function is all in all those old thrash machines. The grain is separated through a cylinder, it goes through a pan and move back, the fan blows the chaff out, the straw walkers carry the straw out, the grain is carried into an auger and loaded onto something, a truck or trailer or whatever, same as new combines are.
It's very difficult to picture what these early farmers, the difficult work, the hard work that was involved in farming. It was labor intense, and now today, I mean, you sit in an air-conditioned cab on a tractor. These people worked hard, very hard.
You gotta know how to set your shifts, how to set your cylinder, how to set your speed, how to set your weights, and have a certain flow of pitching. How to pitch, not over pitch it, not enough.